I have to connect you with the ambulance. Are you okay?
EMS with the address of your emergency. Hello, ma'am. Is this a house apartment or a business?
It's an apartment. Please, it's the resident.
What's the apartment number?
I don't know. He just asked the friend, Kevin Samuels. It's up in, I'm not sure what it is, but just, he's not breathing. I'm trying to give him CPR. He's breathing now, but I think he has a regular rhythm.
We didn't know exactly what apartment number to go to.
I don't know, but it's the front desk.
What's that phone number you're calling us from, ma'am?
He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart, so he need to get here with the fucking,
Man, I'm up for one.
Hurry, he's carrying a blue.
Okay. I'm standing there. Hold on. I'm standing on one, girl.
Call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But, ma'am, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
I understand, but I'm saying I need AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able
So
to get the neighbor, ma'am, real
I'm
quick,
going to
and
hang
ask
up
them
with
to help
you,
you?
or I hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and give me a fucking AED right here now. He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I would like everyone to know that this video will be of fair use, respectfully. Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, brother. We're going to miss you, but your legacy will still carry on. Everybody, you already know who it is. This is your boy, King Nigel, and I am the host of Sigma Male Diaries. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of my newest upcoming content. Also, share and comment, ladies and gentlemen. That will help out with the algorithms and everything. And please help me reach that 1,000 subscriber limit, guys. Ladies, we need to get this thing hopping and jumping. But today I want to talk about more of the details that's involved with Kevin Samuels' death in regards to who this mystery woman is. But is she a mystery woman? Do people know who this woman really is? They talk about she's a nurse. Then they says that she's not a nurse. Then they say that she's a BBLW. Now we find out that she in fact isn't. So what's the whole controversy stemming behind the death of Kevin Samuels? Was it a setup? Was foul play involved? Is his actual passing a homicide? Or did Kevin Samuels die just as the media portrayed it to be? Cardiac arrest. So what's this whole dilemma involving this video on Kevin Samuels' IG Live with him arguing with her or trying to get her to stay out of the view of the camera and or interrupt his live broadcast on IG? Now, what is it stemming from? Why did this in fact happen to Kevin Samuels?
No, you don't want to be on. I don't want you on there. You see me? I'm trying to protect you. Okay, you need to. Okay, I'm about to get back on camera. Just get wherever you're gonna get to. So.
Why is Kevin Samuels so disliked by modern women, beta males, simps? Why can't people see the logic behind what Kevin Samuels was actually doing and trying to do in regards to helping the African American community come together? You have modern women that literally, and I do mean literally, talk down on average salary earning men. They talk about men living with their mothers. They talk about men not having their own houses, their own cars. They talk about men that can't provide for them because they make a certain amount of money. So why is it modern women, they want to be equal to a man, they want to be equal with a man, and they want to live equally as a man? But is that part of the feminine nature? Is that what women were created for? To compete against men, to compete against the men that are naturally, biologically, God created to lead, protect, and provide. Excuse me. Why do modern women establish these degrees, obtain good paying jobs, indoor businesses? Why, when they become entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, they feel as if all that stuff, including their education, their degrees, makes them more valuable?
There are plenty of attractive women who have humility, but they're not overly impressed with themselves. If you're dealing with a woman who's overly impressed with herself, don't waste your time. That's an uphill battle. And women who talk like this, well, why can a man exercise options and you can't? Well, we're not equals. We're different in the sense that, but you don't hear men talking about, well, women get their stuff up front, blah, blah, blah. Ladies, many of you are going to have to come to grips with the fact that you've been marketed to, you've been lied to, the women before you have lied to you, the media has lied to you. You cannot have it all. Life is about choices and trade-offs. And as a woman, the most accurate predictor of what you're going to be able to get, acquire, and maintain in the sexual marketplace is your sexual marketplace value. That's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. That's how you look. That's how you carry yourself. And the thing is, you will attract far more men. But the men who keep women, the men who wife women, the men who make lives with women are looking for women who are assets. And they're not looking for women who want a man to get on her program. And why is this important? Because far too many of you ladies are living your lifestyles. You like your place. You're impressed with yourselves. And you want a man to come along just like Eartha Kitt. You want Eartha Kitt. Eartha falls in love with Eartha. And you want somebody to share you being in love with you. That ain't how that works. So are you on the road to being a party of one?
It puts them on a higher pedestal. When men that lead, protect, and provide do not put women on a pedestal. In fact, these men do not allow a woman to lead in no way, form, shape, or fashion. However, this woman could be beneficial to a man's life if she was cooperative, submissive, friendly, and all this other stuff, if she were, in fact, a traditional woman. Why do modern women pose as chameleons? Why does these feminists and these extreme feminists put it to whereas men are to blame for everything that has went wrong in their lives, knowing that they have to take accountability sooner or later? But that's the thing, accountability. Why do modern women have a problem accepting accountability and utilizing self-worth, self-evaluation, self-discipline, all this stuff that's really required for a person to be a person, a human being? But you have these modern women who are raised as individuals, who are raised to not need a man, who are raised to put their degrees, their jobs, their businesses before a man, before a husband. Why is this crucial? Because if you ever stop and think about it, what's the lead cause of poverty in the African American community? Children. Children that are born out of wedlock. Single mothers raising their kids by themselves because they're strong. They're queens. They boss babes, boss chicks. They got it all. They can have it all. And in the end, they're going to die alone.
Give you a terrible day or a wonderful day. And there's no one else to blame except you.
No
Because
one
you're
else.
here alone. You can't say he did this or he
Tell them,
did that.
Diane.
It's all you. And you don't seem to want to make yourself extremely happy the way you wanted other people to come along to make you extremely happy. Nobody can make you extremely happy but you.
Come on now.
I was an old lady before I understood that.
Boom. I was an old lady before I understood. She started out apologizing to the men that she faulted. 4 chances at it, 4 marriages. This is Diane Carroll we're talking about. And at the end of her life, she had to go back to LA to finally wrestle with the fact that she is a difficult person. Looks like in the end.
The right reason, falling in love for the right purpose, falling in love. Falling in love.
In love.
When you fall in love, what is there to compromise about?
Isn't love
Pay attention.
a union between 2 people? Or
No.
does Eartha fall in love with herself?
I think
Can anyone live with Eartha Kitt?
that's not for me to decide.
Is love a union between 2 people? Or does Eartha fall in love with Eartha?
In love for the right reason, falling in love for the right purpose, falling in love. Falling in love.
Look at
When you
her.
fall in love,
She looks crazy.
what is there to compromise about?
Love.
Isn't love a union between 2 people? Or does
Look-
Eartha fall in love with herself?
I want you guys to look at that look on her face. Look at that. That is a woman who recognizes she's been outed. That is a woman who recognizes she's been outed. Dude. That is a woman who recognizes she has been straight up outed. And she's like, ooh, you got me. You got me, sir. You got me. You got me, sir. Look at the look on her face. That's what it became.
So when you come to this whole concept of Kevin Samuel was a misogynist, you know, what Kevin Samuels has done, a lot of men weren't actually capable of doing it to that degree. They have done it, but they weren't as successful as Kevin Samuels. And that's the leading causing factor of everyone disliking Kevin Samuels, because he was successful at what he was doing.
The self-love of modern women. We have heard, all you have to do is throw a rock in any direction and you will hear these words: manifest, self-love, my truth. All of these aggrandized words for a lot of women today. And, I'm not going to lie. If you're a woman, I'm quite sure it makes you feel good to have somebody tell you you are the sugar honey iced tea. And that all you have to do is worry about you and yourself. So to that end, on Friday, I talked about how we're going to talk about Mimi. Mimi, the Mimi generation. Me, I. And If you haven't noticed, I have been going in quite a bit on this whole bad chick, boss chick culture. Okay? So on Instagram, I posted a photograph, several photographs of somebody that I'm sure most people did not know. Her name was Grace Jones. And Grace Jones, I said, for all these.
You have women calling into his show specifically trying to get the knowledge or try to see what it is that they have to do to land a high value man. Just like a woman says, my man has to be 6 feet. You know, he got to have a big thing. He got to have this. He got to have what I have or more. But when it comes to a man that built himself up to put him in a better position to actually have the options, why don't men act like the women do that want to be equal to men though? Why don't modern women date down? You know, I heard a conversation when I was in Walmart the other day, and the guy was telling me how he would rather go inside. What's that place called that everybody go to? It seemed like a little Mexican spot. Chipotle's. He said he would rather go into Chipotle's and find a wife rather than deal with one of these women that calls themselves a bad bitch. And he was like, it's crazy because a woman won't go into Walmart, you know, and pick up a guy and marry him and everything and still allow him to be a man. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at this whole dilemma of double standards, conditional and selective femininity, that shit is crazy because it put a man in the mindset to whereas, damn, so do I have to go to college and I have to make a lot of money in order to have a wife? Man, listen, that's not your priority, bro. Your priority is establishing your purpose, your legacy. You have to complete your goals and whatever accomplishments that you have to achieve. Do those things. But you have, like, from the age of 25 to 35, man, to figure all this stuff out. Don't take your time because none of us have time to waste. Although, time is on the man's side because when a man is building up his life, the older he is, as long as he's consistent, the more valuable he becomes to a woman. The more in demand he will be. But for women, it works the other way around. It works in the opposite way. So the whole notion of this with Kevin Samuels, ladies and gentlemen, is that women are happy and excited because they feel as if, okay, yay, now we have a chance. No, the fuck you don't.
My comment is, if you're saying, the danger zone and to get a high value man at this time, how could I juggle it with getting a high value man back that I felt like I lost because I wasn't in therapy. I wasn't I wasn't ready, and he called it out. He said I needed to get therapy, and I really want him.
Okay. You know what? I am glad you asked this question. How to fix it? Okay. Well, first off, you've already done step 1, acknowledging that there's a problem. Acknowledging that you found somebody that could be in the area, and let's just say it nicely, you might have screwed it up. Right?
Yeah.
How to get it back? Well, is the person still single and available?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how long ago did you guys end your interaction?
A year ago, but he doesn't live in the same state as me.
Okay. A year ago? All right. And he ended it by saying, it was ended, he said that you need to get your stuff together.
He said, literally, I need to get therapy.
Have you done that?
Yes, I've been in therapy from that time. So yes,
All right.
I'm
All
still
right.
in therapy.
All right. And have you learned anything in therapy that would have made a difference in the relationship you had?
Yes, that I have to go from what I see right now. I can't go off of what I've done in the past, and I shouldn't bring it up because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't know about that either. And it was always I felt like I was giving him too much information where he would be it's like, I don't care, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like thinking he was mean, but I should never brought those things up because it didn't matter.
Okay.
And
So
he didn't do
so hold
anything
on,
to
hold on,
me.
hold on, hold on. Making men in your present pay for mistakes of your past equals no future. That's what she's saying. Number one. Number two, when men are ready to move forward, they really don't care about all that stuff. They just want to know, is it a problem? So, when was the last time you spoken to this man since your breakup?
I haven't just over a year since that time, but it's
Okay.
since all that has passed, and I felt like I lost him. I moved on,
Uh-huh.
and I got married, but I don't want to be with
You got
him. I want to,
married?
yeah.
Because the manosphere is here to stay, and it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's just going to grow stronger, and more men are going to come together. See, men, we're competitive, but we're not going to compete against each other, to bring forth our demise. Like modern women, modern women will even go as far as competing with their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, their aunties, all this shit. Men don't do that. See, men, they compete far as with, the alpha guys. They go out here to see who can, establish the most clout, who can smash the most chicks, who can have the flashiest cars, the flashiest clothes, houses, jewelry, all this stuff. Yeah, you have men that do that, and that's fine. But what type of women do you think they attract? Businessmen, see, that's a whole different perspective. That's a whole different game right there. For women, murder women, I would say. Ladies, are you ready? Are you truly ready to lay it down? Because you're going to have to lay it down. Because all this, I have a PhD, all this, I make 6 figures a year, all this other stuff that you say you have and you're doing, where has it gotten you in regards to being a wife? Do you want to be a wife? Why do you want to be a wife if you can't be led? Why do you want to be a wife if you don't want to depend on a man? Why do you want to be a wife if you know for a fact your ass are cooperative, submissive shit? 80% of you, man, is not even fit. Well, excuse me, I would say 80% of you are not fit.
You currently married?
Yes. I'm married,
Oh,
yeah.
no. Mm-mm. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Ma'am, are you trolling me?
No, I'm not.
You broke up.
I
This guy called it out, and and you said you went and got in therapy, and you're married, and you're actively on a platform with 1 million folks, actively talking about leaving your husband to get back with your ex.
because he's high value, and I felt like
And that's a known fact. So why get mad at that? You call a man fat, okay, that's fine. You call a man short, okay, that's fine. You said a man penis isn't big enough, okay, that's fine. So why is it okay that men can accept all these things coming from women, but women cannot accept these things coming from men? They could accept it, but once again, they lack accountability, so why would they utilize that? Kevin Samuels is not going to make it any easier for anyone, by passing away if you're thinking that you're going to have an advantage because the man who was leading this whole thing in the manosphere as far as YouTube goes, you figure because he's out of it that you're in it. And that's not the case. And all the men that's out there, I'm telling you right now, all these ladies that you see hackling and giggling and laughing and celebrating, pay attention to that. Because that shows just how selfish modern women are. that shows just how selfish 80% of the women are in the African American community as to why men don't have a chance. Think about it. Why are 51% of men in the African American community still virgins between the ages of 18 and 30? Why is it that 54% of black men are sexless and childless? Think about it. That's a 3% difference. Men that were having sex, they're not really having that much sex anymore. And they don't even have kids. You understand what I'm saying? So that tells you that the majority of women are sleeping with the same type of dudes with 10%. Let's say that 17% of these guys, let's just say this. Let's just say 17% of men are less basically responsible for, women being single moms or whatever. Let's just say that these guys are the ones who are sleeping with the majority of women in our community. How is it that 17% of men are producing all these kids? It is more than that, but I'm just saying for an example. You know what I mean? I'm just using that so everybody can get a generalization idea of what I'm talking about when I say 51% of men between the ages of 18 and 30 are virgins, right? For the same thing as a whole, just men, period. 54% of those men are sexless and childless. And you have women saying there aren't any good men out here. There aren't any good men left. All the good men are locked up. But I thought all the good men was these alpha males. These high value guys that you ladies say are good men. Why would those men be in prison? Or maybe I'm just making a mistake. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I heard wrong. But I'll tell you one thing for sure and two things for certain. Men are waking up and men are woke. So either you lay it down, take your ass to sleep, wake up, and try at it again, murder women, or you're going to die alone. Like Kevin Samuels said, buy a cat, a dog, get a pet, and prepare to die alone. Because you can't survive without a man, period. You can't protect yourself. You can't lead yourself. I mean, you can provide for yourself, but how much debt are you in? What is your net worth? What do you have to bring to the table other than sex, your children, and debt, bad attitudes, all this stuff where you emasculate men, you're not cooperative, you're not trying to do any of these things. But yet you want a man of this stature that made himself someone to say, okay, I accept you. What is he going to get out of this deal?
So because they're a functioning adult, they want credit for that because they went to school.
I'm a PhD.
Nobody cares about your PhD. And I hear this bullshit about women are outpacing men in college, and especially black women. Yeah, let them say whatever they want to. Ask them what their net worth is. Most have a negative net worth because they got their masters, their PhD. They're making $100,000. Yeah, but how much student loan debt in? How much is your household debt? What's your consumer debt? Negative net worth means the things you want credit for ain't working.
What are high value men benefiting from dealing with modern women that aren't suitable? Modern women don't deal with men in their mind that they feel aren't suitable. So why should a high value man accept who you are when you won't even accept you are modern women, won't accept men that are actually suitable for you, men that you are actually suitable for? Ladies and gentlemen, maybe it's just me. Like I said, maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like I said, the numbers, the statistics, and the facts are there. We've seen it. We know it. We've experienced it. Modern women, the African American women in our community, do not care about us, black men, us African men in America. Why are we to blame for your problems? We're only supposed to provide, protect, and lead our family. That's for our legacy. You can't expect a black man that don't know you to protect you when you don't even help a man protect you from your damn self. So why have all these expectations? Why feel entitled to another person's life? Why remain delusional when the truth is smacking your ass in the face? Is it because the truth hurts? Or is it because reality forces you to accept reality. So you can't live in a fantasy forever. The fantasy that you were told, the fantasy that you were given, the lies that you believed were the truth are only that of your subjective truth. Everything in this world is objective. Everything is based on facts and logic. You can have your own opinion, but is your opinion a valid statement or a valid way of thinking? That's just for you to think selfishly, whether something benefits you, whether something offends you, whether something fulfills you. But ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is this. We need to come together on one accord, because if we don't, we're going to continue to lose, because we are losing to other races, man. Mexican women don't treat their men like this. White women don't treat their men like this. Not on average. Now let's just stick with the majority now on average, because you have women of other races, man, that they would risk being disowned by their families because they know what a black man is capable of. It's not about potential. You see, that's the problem. It's not about what could possibly be, but the probability of a black man having a successful relationship, indoor marriage within the African American community with his own woman is a risk. And then they talk about, well, yeah, they date outside their race because they date younger girls because this, that, and the third. They want that shame, insult, bash, throw guilt trips, and all this other shit. And they're still not doing anything about it to change it or to make it better. So, fellas, what I'm saying is this whole thing with Kevin Samuels, and I know I rambled on, around and about everything. I'm really absorbing this whole thing with Kevin Samuels. Like, was he murdered? Is it any foul play expected? Like, what is really going on? And it behooves me to the point to where black men, black women are celebrating this shit. Why are they so happy? I mean, a lot of men listen to Kevin Samuels because, they didn't have that talk with their father. Maybe their mother kept them away, because we only hear the story from one side. We only hear it from mom because we're there with mom. You know what I mean? We don't know what really happened. We don't find out what happened until later on down the road, where we can make the decisions on our own to see our fathers or whatnot. For those of us who still have our fathers that's living, whether you have to go meet your father in prison, or whether, you travel to another state or country, or vice versa, you guys sit down and have a talk, man. And then you realize, damn, wow, mom lied. That's crazy. I sat there, got woken up out my sleep 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because mommy had an issue with her dude and everything like that. You all she got is a son. And she's talking to you about her problems. That's why I say parents shouldn't put their children in their business. Let a child stay in a child's place. A lot of women say, oh, I don't want a beta male. Then you hear, I hear a lot of women say, oh, I want a man based on how he treat his mom. Okay, well, that man want a woman based on how she treat her dad. Oh, well, I don't know my dad. So why the fuck you want something from a man that you can't give him in return? And this is a lot of stuff that Kevin Samuels be talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this stuff is real and it's serious. So, fellas, like I was saying, when you hear and see these women's posts on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, OnlyFans, I don't care where it's at, pay attention to what's really going on. Are you still willing to simp on these women? Are you still willing to take these women on a date and have them ghost you and then post your shit all over social media? Do you want to be Kevin Samuels but in a different limelight? You understand what I'm saying? Why do men still see certain things like this, right? And they still pursue these same type of women. Don't you think you're going to get the same treatment? Or you're going to sit back and play victim and blame her for the shit that she done when you had a whole choice of your own to make? And that's a problem. A lot of people are aware of certain things, but then because it's in demand, they want it. They don't know anything about it until they see it. And then that's when they want it. That's all I'm saying. They didn't put in the work or anything. You know, what do you have as a woman to bring to the table other than sex, your degrees, and your money? That's what the fuck we're talking about. We're not worrying about how you feel with us asking you what do you have to bring to the table or what do you have to offer. That's not no sucker shit. That's done. You know that man know his value. He know his worth. He has standards. He has boundaries. He has a life. He has a choice. He don't have to accept you in it because you feel entitled as a woman because you were told I can have it all. That's a motherfucking lie. Only thing you can have is your own motherfucking solitude. When you got to plan your funeral alone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for now. I'm really trying to put all this stuff together, man. Like I said, you know, it's just crazy how we have so much division among us as a whole, a culture of people in a society within America that doesn't even care about us anyway. And we're helping them with their agenda. And we know who them are. They're running the country as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, King Nigel of Sigma Male Diaries. Some of you might like what I say. Then again, some of you might not. But I don't give a fuck. And I really don't. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe and be blessed. But I know.